easy fasting routine that you guys can start using to really trim up and make sure that you keep that shredded, ripped look that you want. You know, I think when you guys get around 10% or below, you really start looking good. I know it's going to be different for different people. Like me, as an example, I have to get a little bit under 10 because even at around 10, which has been like my highest body fat percentage as of the last probably 10, 15 years, my abs show, but they don't really pop. Versus other people, they may accumulate fat in different places, and at 12%, they already might have a good six pack. So I like 10% because generally speaking, regardless of where the fat lies on your body, as a man especially, 10% is going to be that good kind of range where you'll look good and still feel good, and your hormones will still be good. Because I've been lower. I've been 5%, 4%, 6%, and it takes a toll on you for sure, right? So let's get into the fasting routine that I implemented. I'm going to give you plenty of options, right? Here's the many scenarios that I implement fasting and how I use it to stay lean. Let's say I have a day or two where friends come, or I just happen to go somewhere, take a trip, and I overindulge. Maybe, even though this is very rare, maybe I have alcohol, maybe I'll eat an exorbitant amount of calories, maybe I'll smack like 5,000, 6,000 calories in a day or something like that, right? If I know I do something like that, then what do? I throw in fasting to throttle the mistake that I made or the overindulgence, right? So it's almost a way of making sure that I stay on track, because typically the easiest way to track this thing, y'all, is to look per week. How many calories are you consuming per week, right? What are you doing per week? How many times are you overindulging per week? Because then when you take a look at it, what's up, buddy? From the weekly standpoint, then you can make the adjustments that you need to make in order to balance that out, right? So if I have the overindulgence for a day or two, and then I fast for a 24 or 36 hour period where I don't intake any calories, then I know I'm balancing that sheet out, right, for the week, and that's what you want to do. So typically if I overindulge for a day or two, what I'll do is I'll throw in anywhere from a 24 to 36 hour fast, depending on the level of overindulgence. If I took a cheat meal too far and maybe added an extra meal or turned it into a whole cheat day, like completely, then I will do a 36 hour fast, right? If it was a little slip up, maybe I had a drink one night or it was something very minor, then I'll throw in a 24 hour fast, right? That's typically how I gauge it. The 24 to 36 hour fast is typically what I add if I have one of those overindulgence days or I go a little bit too far, right? Because I think that's kind of the best way. In addition to that, right, I follow a pattern that I think is very effective where I do it in cycles. So typically once a month, I'm going to do a 48 to 72 hour fast, a 2 to 3 day fast once a month. Once every 2 weeks, so that's, let's say it's January 1st, right? Between January 1st and January 14th, somewhere in there, I'm going to throw in a 24 hour fast, right? Somewhere in that 30-day period, I'm going to throw in a 36 hour fast, right? That's how I do it per month, right? Now, what I said previously about a 48 to 72 hour fast, I'm going to do that quarterly, every season. So typically when the beginning of the season happens, like March 21st, right? When we enter, spring, fall, summer, winter, I'm going to kick it off usually those first 2 days with a 48 to 72 hour fast, and I'll take it as long as I deem fit. Like right now, I'm probably about to hit a 48 hour fast currently as I'm shooting this video, and I think I'm going to keep going, right? Like I have kind of the urge to eat, but it's not that bad and I'm feeling good. And like I told you guys earlier on my channel, I'm still pushing out this like very minor skin issue that I had that's virtually gone, but it's probably like 95% recovered. And I know these little cyclical fasts that I do will push out whatever ailments I still have, right? So in that month period, right, every 2 weeks, I'm doing a 24. Every month, I'm doing like a 36 hour fast, maybe 48 hour fast if I'm feeling it. Then once a quarter, once a season, I'm doing a 2 to 3 day fast, right? Now, you can add more. I've done 4 or 5 day fasts before, but you guys want to be careful with that, especially if you have a lot of activity. Like I'm 48 hours into a fast right now, and I just came back from doing another workout, and I did like weighted dips and other stuff. So, you want to be careful with it. I'm used to it, and I can kind of gauge and have a sense from where my body is at. So I know how hard to push and how hard not to push. But if you're newer to it, then you want to make sure that you're being mindful of those things, right? Now, in addition to this fasting schedule, because you may say, well, if I only fast 24 hours every 2 weeks and, you know, a 1.5 or 2 day fast once a month, how is that going to get me shredded? Well, this is on top of being disciplined, right? Removing alcohol, drugs, smoking from your diet, processed foods. Because I'm somebody who's done very extreme alkaline plant-based, and I've done like full carnivore and everything in between. And I can tell you, regardless of what your diet is, you need to be disciplined, right? Whether you're plant-based or carnivore, eat whole foods, right? Track what you're eating. That was the biggest thing. Fasting and then actually tracking what I eat, like putting the food on the plate before I eat it, and then having an idea by looking at the labels. Hey, okay, this is around 800 calories, right? Being mindful of those things and then adding a little bit of fasting may be that last little tweak that you guys need, because it's multiple things. It's never just one thing. It's not just eating this one food or just adding fasting, right? It's going to be accumulation of all those things, but you need to make sure that you're being disciplined with it. So that's my basic fasting schedule. I think that it helps a lot. It keeps you very primal in a way. It cleans your system. Fasting is one of the best things you can do for mental clarity and to let your system clean itself out. Because even if you're following a whole food diet, right, we're not perfect. The environment that we live in now is very polluted. You're probably still getting microplastics and all that other stuff. And the only way you're going to eliminate that stuff fully is by just drinking water and doing a full fast. If you go beyond 2 days, like I am today, then I recommend you supplement with some clean electrolytes, maybe have some tea, some burdock root, some sarsaparilla, which is, I don't know how they say it in English, sarsaparilla, right? It's very iron dense, right? I still have teas, but you want to supplement accordingly, maybe some coconut water, but I know coconut water does have sugar, so it would break your fast. So you kind of want to be very specific about what you do when you're fasting. However, if you want to do those prolonged fasts, maybe you can do 2 or 3 days where it's just water, and then after that you can maybe do liquid or coconut water or something like that to keep you going, right? Just make sure that you're implementing it. Make sure that you're following a very structured and disciplined type of routine when it comes to your food and your intake, because that's ultimately what gets you the result, just like anything else. But fasting is what's going to get you over that hump and build that mental fortitude that many of you probably need, that resilience and mental fortitude to be able to stick to your routines and your new lifestyle. Because it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle, right? So when you make fasting a part of your lifestyle, you'll really enjoy it and you'll relish in it. I'm, again, almost 48 hours into one. I'm feeling great. I have a lot of energy. I feel mental clarity. I feel like if I have any excess or lingering inflammation, it gets that out of my body, and it keeps me feeling very, very young. You know what I mean? So let me know if you have any questions, guys. I'm going to be a lot more regular on this channel. I know I typically just upload the calisthenics shorts, but I want to really talk about my personal journey and experience with health and fitness, because I've always been in good shape. I've been a professional athlete, and I think my experience can help people. Although I'm not going to be super scientific, I think I can give you a lot of tips and tricks to help you achieve a more chiseled physique, a better physique, and just be more athletic overall. All right, see you guys.